Sergio Perez has acknowledged that Max Verstappen is the fastest driver on the grid, but he has also reaffirmed that it is his goal to win the Formula One world title, just like the Dutch driver has done. Does Perez have the chance of winning an F1 title while still at Red Bull? Let's find out. Sergio Perez, known as the Guadalajara gunslinger, has racked up more points in the history of Formula One than any other Mexican driver. In Sakhir 2020, he finished the race in first place, matching the achievement of his hero and countryman Pedro Rodriguez. As a result of this success, Red Bull offered him a seat on their championship-contending team. The fact that Red Bull decided to replace Alex Albon with Sergio Perez for the 2021 Formula One season sparked a firestorm of speculation. There were mixed reactions as to whether he was the right teammate for Max Verstappen. Based on the results of the 2020 season, it's hard to argue with Red Bull's decision to pick up Sergio Perez over Alex Albon for 2021. In a slower car, Perez finished the year 20 points clear of Albon, won a race against the odds in Bahrain, and scored points at every Grand Prix he entered, apart from the two in which his Mercedes engine failed. Perez had a modest performance in his first season at Red Bull. He did enough to earn a second year at Red Bull and duly gained a contract extension. He put Red Bull in championship contention in 2021, and perhaps even won Verstappen the title with his masterful defense against Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi. Perez was given the opportunity to really get on top of Red Bull thanks to the new technical rules that were implemented for 2022. And the new RB18 at the early part of this season is definitely more suited to the manner in which he drives. As a result, he earned a spectacular pole position in Saudi Arabia and great drives in Australia, Imola, and Miami. This shows that his hard work is paying off. He has also won the Monaco Grand Prix and Singapore Grand Prix this season. It is beyond a doubt that Red Bull has been impressed with his performances, which is one of the reasons why they decided to extend his contract earlier this season until 2024. Due to the fact that Max Verstappen is on such a high level, Sergio Perez does not believe that there is a single driver that could step into a Red Bull and just beat Max Verstappen. With his win in Mexico, Verstappen set a new record for the most points scored in a single season in Formula One, and he also broke the record for the most wins in a single season with 14 wins to his name. You're enjoying this video, right? You definitely don't want to miss out on other amazing videos. So all you have to do is hit the subscription button. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. The Red Bull RB18 has won 16 of the 20 races that have been held so far in 2022, with Perez accounting for only 2 of those victories. The Mexican driver has finished on the podium 10 times this year. But given how dominant Verstappen has been throughout the entire season, Perez does not believe there is a driver who could immediately overtake the Dutchman if they were to compete in the same machinery. Perez said, "Well, it's a great challenge to be his teammate. Max is operating at a very high level from FP1 through the whole weekend, so I just had to little learning and trying to beat him and trying to do the stuff he is doing. So it's obviously not an easy task. I don't believe there's anyone that can come and just beat him straight away. He's very solid with the team. He's been there a while, so I think I'm just getting closer and closer with the year. So I will give it another shot for next year and see what happens." Perez also elaborated on the areas in which he believes he and the team have improved together so far this season. He has generally been closer to Verstappen's level over the course of one lap this year, and he believes he is heading in the right direction in trying to match his teammate regularly. He said, "Well, I think the lesson from this year is that, it's been a great year as a team. I do need to step up my race pace, mainly where last year was more the qualifying, I think. With these cars, you are able to race a lot closer, so I think we need to step up that race pace. The understanding with the team, with the car, I think that has come better in the last few races." Speaking about his chances of winning the 2023 F1 crown, the Mexican driver believes that maintaining a consistent performance is one of the challenges he must overcome to mount a serious fight for the 2023 Drivers' Championship. The Red Bull driver had a strong start to the season. A victory in Monaco and a run of podiums kept him within reach of the lead of the Drivers' Championship. However, during the course of the season, teammate Max Verstappen greatly improved his performance, and the Dutch driver went on to win his second driver's title with a great deal of ease. Perez admitted in an interview before the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix that his own lack of consistency and troubles with reliability had been a major obstacle in his pursuit of the 2022 title. Perez said, "It certainly started really well. We had some reliability issues in the beginning, but things were looking good on track. We were in the mix for the championship early on. I certainly had a couple of bad races that really put me out of contention for the championship. So there is some work to do in that regard, working with the team to make sure that we can keep the consistency throughout, and we can come back next year and fight for the title. If we were to have a similar level of car for next year, it's important that we finish our season on a high so that we can come back next year and start strong throughout the season." Is a support driver the best Perez will ever get at Red Bull? Baku 2021 was the first race in which he showed he could fulfill the role of Verstappen's support. He was there to pick up the pieces when Verstappen's tyre blew when in a commanding lead. Before that, he had overtaken early leader Lewis Hamilton at the pit stops, demoting Verstappen's major rival. He then proceeded to hold off Hamilton as Verstappen eased away without having to give his fresh tyres a hard time. Neither of Red Bull's junior graduates, Pierre Gasly nor Alex Albon, had been regularly able to do that in their time in the second Red Bull seat in 2019 and 20. The aggressive pointy cars that Red Bull produced during that time ensured that whoever got into the second seat struggled to get anywhere near Verstappen's pace. Red Bull's decision to go with a pointy car was influenced by Verstappen's ability to happily live with the rear instability of such a car. Initially, this was the case with Perez too. In the sixth race of the 2021 season, Baku was the first occasion that Verstappen was able to benefit from Perez holding up his competitors. Prior to that, Verstappen had been fighting pretty much on his own during race days because Perez was generally too far behind to jeopardize the strategy of the Mercedes cars. But since the 2021 Azerbaijan GP, he became an effective support car for the leading car, engaging the Mercedes cars in battle in France, being close enough to Hamilton in Austria and Turkey to prevent Mercedes from switching his strategy, applying undercut pressure to Hamilton in Austin to keep him off Verstappen's back, engaging Hamilton in battle for second in Mexico as Verstappen won, delaying the advancing Hamilton in Brazil, and spectacularly doing so in the Abu Dhabi finale, enabling Verstappen to get back into the lead and win the race. Perez was only unable to help Verstappen's 2021 races in 4 different locations: Silverstone, Monza, Sochi, and Qatar. In the 2019-20 season, Albon was only able to successfully fill that support role twice, while Gasly was unable to do so. With his experience and standing, Perez was able to chum out some solid performances, despite his similar dissatisfaction with the handling traits of the vehicle. The 2022 Red Bull RB18 is a much more stable, understeery sort of car, and he has advanced even further with it. As a result, he had some stunning performances this season. This year, he is far closer to Verstappen in speed than he was last year, and twice, he has even outqualified Verstappen. At Barcelona, he was required to assist Verstappen's strategy by letting him pass twice, to the detriment of his own race. At Monaco, by qualifying ahead and running ahead in the race, he was able to win his first race this season. Beginning last year, unable to support Verstappen, Perez was supporting him consistently from mid-season and has now progressed to challenging him for the upcoming season. For Perez, the move to Red Bull signifies a trade-up, and it will be his first opportunity to demonstrate what he is capable of doing in a top car against a top teammate. Even though he is already 30 years old, he still has time on his side, and if he can really take the battle to Verstappen, his career may only just be getting started. What are your thoughts on this? Is it possible that Perez will ever give Max a run for the F1 title, or is he just being too ambitious? Let me know in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.